YouTubers, Fortune Cookie 45 LC coming to you from the hot lead zone. And this video is a VR to Rockin Ron. Now Rockin Ron had a question about metal polishes being used on our fine firearms. Now all the experienced shooters out there have their favorite ways to take care of their gun finishes, but there are a lot of new shooters out there who haven't given a lot of thought to all the considerations. So here we go. Now specifically, Rockin Ron was asking about Flitz Metal Polish and Mother's Magnum Metal Polish. Now I don't have any Flitz Metal Polish or Mother's Magnum Metal Polish on hand, but I encourage all shooters to go ahead and get some of these metal polishes because they have their use. But we also need to be careful in using them so that we don't mar our fine firearms. When you talk about Flitz Metal Polish, that's been around and used by shooters for the last 35 or 40 years. And a lot of people like Flitz. Now almost all metal polishes you buy will have on the labels on the cans and bottles that these products are either non-abrasive or non-marring to metal surfaces. They have to have that because you wouldn't buy them otherwise. However, if you read the fine print, a lot of times it'll tell you that the recommendation is to try the product out in a non-visible area first to test it out. The reason for this is that there is one basic principle to metal polishing, and that is you use abrasives that are from coarse to finer to finer to finest in order to get the highest shine. Now I worked for a couple years polishing metal, and what I've got here is some souvenirs from that work experience. When we polish metal, we use power belts and power wheels and power discs and power points that were rotating on lathes, and we use these ingredients as the abrasives to get the metal to be polished. We started with coarse, like this bar of Tripoli, and then we went to iron oxides and tin oxides, finer grades like this one here, which is a moderate one, and a real fine one. And what I don't have is we had bars of this stuff that looked like this, but it was called rouge. And rouge is fine iron oxide. And then we had these small bars of what we call jeweler's rouge. And jeweler's rouge is the very finest grade of iron oxide there is, and that put the highest shine that you see on jewelry. And those little bars we use for the final polish. You see, all of these are actually mildly abrasive because they have to have that to be able to polish. But if you use these for cleaners, the mild abrasive action does nothing to mar the surface of your guns. So if you take this on a rag, any of these on a rag, including Flitz, including Mother's Magnum, and then you just gently use that as a cleaner, the mild abrasive action will serve very well to clean your guns. And they have protectants in these, so it'll do that too. You see, they all say cleans, polishes, protects. Cleans, shines, protects. They all say the same thing. If you use them for a cleaner with mild rubbing, cause no problems for your guns. But if you're using these to polish, you've got to be careful. Now, getting back to Rockin Ron's question about firearms finishes and the use of metal polish on them, let's go over some of these finishes. For any glossy or semi-glossy stainless steel or glossy nickel finishes, you can go ahead and use metal polishes as long as you do the same thing on the whole surface every time you use it. You'll be happy with the way it looks. But suppose you have some little scratches in your stainless steel finish and you want to get rid of those with your metal polish, and you rub real hard there. Well, what will happen is you'll create a real shiny spot, get rid of the scratch, but then the shiny spot won't match the rest of your gun. So you got to do the whole gun the same way. And then you'll be happy. If you use the metal polishes on any of our commonly found satin stainless steel finishes, the bead blasted, the matte finishes, all these kind of finishes, kind of a dull stainless steel, you get scratches in here and you try and polish it out with metal polish, you will not like the result because you'll get rid of the scratch, but you'll create a shiny spot that will not match the rest of your gun. You're going to have to send it back to the factory and have it bead blasted again. Where I really like to use the metal polishes is as a cleaner wiping down the whole gun is fine, but right there on the front of the cylinder, I can really work on that area and get rid of those burn marks with our metal polishes and not really worry about creating a problem for the stainless steel matte finish because I'm only on the front of the cylinder. And that keeps the front of the cylinder looking pretty good, so I use it there, but not hard on the rest of the finish. Unless I'm doing a glossy or semi-glossy stainless steel or nickel finish, I can be a little harder there and not be too concerned because I can blend that in real easy, but not with this finish. Well, Rockin Ron was asking about metal polishes on our fine blued surfaces. Now, all the factories have done wonderful bluing jobs. They call like bright blue or royal blue, and Ruger had a very deep blue. The way they did it was they polished the metal very well, and then they used a hot blue process to create that very deep blue that we like. Now, once again, if you use the metal polishes as cleaners, just by wiping lightly, no problem with the blue finish. The top cylinder is a very old cylinder and has had the use of metal polishes lightly on there for many years. And that's the only difference between a fairly new cylinder. Now, to show what extended hard use of metal polishes will do to blued surfaces, look at this cylinder that's been pretty heavily used with a metal polish compared to a new cylinder, what the bluing damage can be. So, YouTubers, the word on our fine blued guns is to be judicious using any kind of metal polish, gentle, but vigorous in some places that you don't mind showing a little bit of blue loss. And whatever blue loss or scratches you get, basically leave it alone, because that's all honest wear on our blued guns and maintains collector value. And that way maintain pristine condition of our guns. We can fully enjoy them. And YouTubers, also thank you Rockin Ron for the question, and take care. We'll see you next video. Bye for now.